Welcome back to Bulgari Hotel Milano. I am Roberto, and tonight I have in my kitchen Magnus Nilsson, one of the best chefs of Northern Europe. Tonight my dish in honor to Magnus is a mix of my culture and the particular Magnus cuisine. It's part of the forest in honor to Magnus, a part of sea. Is baccalà with asparago from Piedmont forest, boscopalli, black truffle and crumble of cacao. For my dish I will use a special type of garlic grown in my garden behind my kitchen. The name is garlic lovers because after heat this type of garlic you can kiss your lover.
My name is Magnus Nilsson, and I run a restaurant called Färviken Magasinet way up north in Sweden. And I'm here for 3 days in Milan to cook at the Bulgari Hotel a couple of dishes from the restaurant. We work mainly with produce from the region where the restaurant is located. It's fantastic to see how many great products we can get in a very, very small, limited area that far north in the world. And it's not always the kind of rarest or strangest products that's the most interesting. It can also be equally interesting to see how much you can do with like a simple carrot. You can also decide which seed to plant, when to harvest it, how to water it, and all of those things. And by doing so, also making a huge difference on the flavor of the resulting dish. We have this dish, which is a scallop, which we had on the menu for several years now. It's a scallop cooked in the shell over a fire, a burning birch and juniper fire, which is then served on a bed of moss from the forest. And this region where I run the restaurant, it's located very close to the Norwegian coastline where you get the scallop, but it's also deeply embedded in high forests. So it's really a perfect kind of reflection of the whole place. Tonight I brought a small selection of dishes from the Färviken menu down to Milan. First there are a couple of small appetizers. Then there is the scallop dish that I mentioned earlier. There is a dish of king crab, and then there is a dish which is based on many different grains. They're from up north. There's also a pork chop and a couple of simple desserts. I think one of the most interesting things for me, cooking in a place like this, the Bulgari Hotel in Milano, is the kind of contrast between what I do, the complexity through simplicity that we put into the actual cooking, and the luxury and the complexity of a big hotel, a luxury hotel like this.
Magnus, a real Viking, a guy who is only 32 years old, becoming less than 7 years, one of the most distinguished, trendiest and at the same time truest innovators in cuisine. With Magnus we came back to a much more natural approach to cuisine with new techniques like fermentation. One could say that Nordic cuisine is also a survival cuisine. If you go deep down in the north, midwinter time, you cannot find a lot of products. The weather, the sun condition is totally different for us. For example, the vegetables, they grow much later, but they have a kind of 24-hour sun. So after 2 months, they are much sweeter than our carrots. Also, the seasons are very short. So what do you eat during the winter time if you don't stock stuff in your cellar? What do? You can start processing your food, fermenting it. Magnus used to cook 2 years old carrots. So it takes a different approach. You don't just pan fry it for 5 minutes like you would do with a fresh carrot, but it takes techniques that come, say, from braised meat. So you cook it slowly, you put the juice all around the carrot. It's like it was a real meat.